First of all, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakadash. This lesson right here is going to be about how ESAU switched and turned love into hate. See, now I'm going to start with Isaiah 29 and verse 16. It says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, have he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? See, the so-called white man, he gonna tell you, God didn't make me, a Big Bang made me. Or I evolved from a lizard. Or evolved from a fish. See, that's what the devil gonna tell you. That's why it says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. See, because wicked Negroes and these Americans, they believe everything the so-called white man say. Everything he say, they act like he was the potter that created the world. They act like he is the creator. When he come with his false science and say, oh, the science say this, when the word science just means knowledge. So you saying my knowledge of my research shows this, and you should trust my knowledge. Forget God's knowledge. He don't know what he talking about. See, I'm God, and I tell you what to think, and my knowledge is what counts. The research that I did, that's what's gonna count. See, whatever God talking about, or whatever this so-called God you talking about, that crap is fake. See, it says, for shall the work say of him that made it? See, who was this work? The work is a man. See, a man was made by a God. A man was made by a creator. So the man gonna say this crap. It say, for shall the work say unto him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? Now I'm going to go to Romans 9. Romans 9 goes specifically with this. See, that's why Paul brought it up. See, Apostle Paul knew what Isaiah was talking about. That's why Yahweh Shai, he quoted Apostle Paul. Yahweh Shai quoted Isaiah a lot, because he was one of the prophets that had a lot of, a lot of prophecies from the Most High. He was given a lot of information and knowledge of the Most High. And so when Paul went into talking about the so-called white man, when he went into talking about these Edomites, who was the Romans at the time, he was letting the Israelites know that this situation ain't stopped. See, they ain't went nowhere. That's why they got us in captivity. That's why they ruling, because this issue is still on the table. In Romans 9 and 13, it say, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So he letting you know this issue is still on the table. The so-called white man is still our enemy, and God still hate him. See? So then he go and talk about this potter, because see, that's why Isaiah say, shall what's the work say to the potter, oh, you didn't make me, or you don't got no understanding. I got more understanding than you. My science say more than anything. I did my research and I understand life better than God. So he say, getting right to the point, in verse 20. He say, "Oh man, who are you that replieth against God? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why have you made me thus?" See, that's almost the exact thing that Isaiah was saying in Isaiah 29. So the work say to the potter, you don't know what the heck you doing. That's why he said in verse 21, have not the potter power over the clay and the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another vessel unto dishonor? So Paul saying, see, they gonna turn everything upside down. That's why he hated them first of all, and they gonna he made them for this purpose. He made them so they can turn everything upside down. Verse 22, he say, what if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endureth with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? See, that fitted to destruction goes into he made them to kill they behind. He made the so-called white man to destroy them. See, it's just like you make a bomb, and that the bomb and the nuclear weapon. That's the perfect example of the so-called white man. That's the perfect example of his purpose. See, the Lord using him as a weapon, and also this is how he gonna be destroyed, by his own weapon. That's why he said, if you live by the sword, you're gonna die by the sword. And Esau's blessing was the sword. See, he's the prime example of a weapon. You create this weapon, and this kind of weapon, like that's a bomb or a nuclear bomb, you create it to destroy it. You create it to make a big explosion for it to be destroyed. That was the purpose of this weapon. You didn't create the weapon so it can get along with everybody. You didn't create the weapon so it can prosper and last forever. No, you created it so it can serve its purpose. So you can use it as a weapon and destroy it. That's why you created it. So that's why he said in verse 22, he said, what if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endureth with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? Now that vessel is talking about the Edomite, who he so-called hate. See, because he made one vessel for honor and one vessel for dishonor. He made Jacob for honor, he made Esau for dishonor. He made the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans for honor, and the white man and all these other nations for dishonor. See, he made them for a purpose. He didn't just do stuff willy-nilly and say, oh, I'm going to just make a bunch of people and got no disorder. He got perfect order and a purpose that he running. Like when an actor go in the movie, he make a good guy and he make a bad guy. He make a plot. The plot is we got this battle going on between these two forces. Like what's the movie Star Wars. With Star Wars you had the good force and you had the bad force. You had Luke Skywalker, and then you had the dark side with Darth Vader. He created Darth Vader to destroy Darth Vader. See, the director of that movie. See, he didn't create Darth Vader so Darth Vader can win and kill Luke Skywalker. That ain't what he did. So when you go into how did these Edomites turn everything upside down? How did the so-called white man turn everything upside down? Now when you go into the main way is because love. The love that the Lord is talking about is not the love of this so-called America and this Western society. That's not the love that the Lord created. Salakia. See, the Lord, when he created this love, it wasn't based off feelings. It wasn't based off emotion. See, It wasn't based off, you know, something that ain't got no something that you can touch. See, love was off action. Love wasn't some spiritual thing. I feel love. Or, I love everybody. It wasn't a feeling. It was action. See, but the so-called white man, he done changed it into a feeling. Now, when most people dealing with relationships, they looking at it as, oh, you got to give me a feeling. You got to present me a feeling at all times. Because if you present me with a bad feeling, then now you don't love me. But see, love ain't about feelings. So you gonna have. That's why they have a tough love. Cause see, tough and that love that they talking about, that don't mix. You can't be tough with the love that they present. You see, don't tell the truth. Let's tell a lie. Let me just tell a lie to cater to your feelings. I'm not gonna tell the truth. See, I'd rather tell you a lie because it's gonna cater to your feelings and make you feel good. Now let's go into this love that they talking about. Where is it? Proverbs. Let's get Proverbs 26. Proverbs 26. It say, when he speak fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. See, what they do is they run their mouth and try to speak all, have this sweet speech. They use their words as a weapon. See, that because they going into your feelings. They trying to use these words to go into your feelings and say, oh, and act like they love you. Like they put on a act. That's why they call them hypocrites. A hypocrite is just another word for an actor. They're acting. They're putting on a show. See, they don't mean nothing that they saying. That's why Hollywood is the greatest form of their enterprise, of their empire. That's one of the greatest forms of their society, Hollywood. See, because it's all an act. It's not real. But that's the strategy that they use. Let me get Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes, I'm going to start at 10. Because the Lord already knew what it was going to do. But he got to tell the Israelites, listen, don't fall into the trap of somebody running their mouth, trying to act like they talking all fair. Because that fair goes into sweet speech, what they nowadays the modern term of nice. They talking like they nice. They talking like they your friend. How a friend would talk to somebody, that's how they come off. But he had to warn the Israelites. He said, listen, and this in verse 10, he said, never trust your enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So he's saying that iron ain't gonna stay just, if you don't mess with it, it's gonna turn into rust. So you let it sit there for long enough, that iron gonna turn into some rust. See, but these he pretty much saying that's why they gonna, if you let them hang out with you long enough, you gonna find out that these bastards is your enemy, man. Verse 11, he said, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed of him, and be aware of him. And thou shalt be as unto him like an Salakia. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. So you can try to clean off the rust. You see, that's what they trying to do now. They trying to say, oh, slavery is over, and that's in the past, and we ain't killing nobody, and we're Christians now, and we love everybody. You know, they try to come with that crap. He said, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. You say you let them sit there long enough, let them hang out with you long enough, and you're gonna find out that they really hate your guts like they forefathers hated your guts. Verse 12, he say, set him not by you, lest when he have overthrown you, he stand up in your place. Neither let him sit at your right hand, lest he seek to take your seat. And thou at last remember my words and be pricked therewith. So he said, don't think that he your friend, man. Don't let him sit there and say, oh, we buddies. We're good friends. See, don't listen to the crap coming out of his mouth, because he's just a hypocrite, a liar, an actor, a wonderful actor. Because ain't nothing changed. The war's still going on. It's still a war. See, it say, lest he seek to take your seat, and thou at last remember my words and be pricked therewith. See, these wicked Negroes, they gonna remember the words of the Lord. See, they gonna remember that the Israelites were telling them, don't trust this wicked enemy that you have, a 400, 500, 800 year enemy since the 1492, 1480s, 1450s. The enemy, y'all been going at war with each other. How you gonna trust this situation? But see, when they remember, it say, and thou at last remember my words. See, these Israelites, they gonna remember the words. They gonna say, man, them Israelites tried to tell us, but we say, oh man, y'all jealous of the so-called white man, and y'all just preaching hate, and God love everybody. See, they gonna remember regurgitating his words. See, then they gonna remember what the prophets was telling them. This been your enemy, man. What the hell wrong with you? You a millionaire? Is you not still broke and homeless? Why are you sitting around talking about this your friend, man? Verse 13, he said, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come near wild beasts? So nobody gonna pity these Negroes, man. When the so-called white man bring martial law, and they go to screaming and hollering and fleeing, nobody gonna pity them. When the so-called white man bring in his new system, his new world order, and say you gotta be down with it, or I'm sending you to a camp, and I'm putting you behind the death in that camp, nobody's gonna pity these wicked Negroes. Because they want to hug up under the so-called white man and trust whatever he got. Then say if they go along with what his new world order and do whatever he say, okay, if you want to be a part of this new world order, you got to let me turn you into a robot. See, you got to let me turn you into a cyborg. See, they gonna find out after you trust them. You gonna remember the Lord's word when you see the missiles coming out that sky, when you see them missiles flying, and you see them other Israelites being beamed up in them chariots and them so-called UFOs, then you gonna realize his words. You gonna remember his words that was coming out of the mouth of the prophet. See, oh, that was my enemy. Oh, I thought they was cursing They was cursing out the so-called white man. Oh man, I didn't know they was God's people. I didn't know they was telling the truth. I wanted to trust the so-called white man. I wanted to be a Christian. I wanted to go to his church. See, I didn't know he was my enemy. I didn't know he was the devil. See, it says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come near a wild beast? See, the white man is the beast in the Bible. See, Esau is the beast. You can chop it up and talk about all these governmental names, the Romans, the Europeans, the Caucasians, the Greeks. You can chop it up however you want, but at the end of the day, it's the so-called white man, and his original name is Esau. It says, verse 14, so one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? See, nobody's gonna pity somebody who go hug up on a known murderer, a known robber, a known stealer. See, it's common knowledge that the so-called white man slaughtered the Native Americans, see, but they want to go hug up under them. It's common knowledge that the so-called white man go to all these other countries, steal their goods, steal their resources. He done colonized the whole world, but they'll crawl up on them. Let's go to his schools and let him teach us. Let's go to his churches and let him teach us. Let's trust him. Trust what he say. Let's listen to his scientists and all of this medicine mess, and let him give us any kind of drug he want to give us. See, let's let him experiment on us and use us as what you call them things? Lab rat, a lab rabbit. See, let's trust the so-called white man. See, that's what Negroes gonna do. And who gonna pity them when they running up under this sinner? Because he the man of sin. See, let's get that. Thessalonians. Second Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means. Who doing the deceiving? Hell, who doing the teaching? See, when you're looking at who doing the teaching, now you can see who doing the deceiving. The main teacher is the so-called white man. College, church, any kind of teaching. Who write the books? Who the publishers? See, he doing the teaching and he doing the deceiving. It say, for that day shall not come except they're coming falling away first. That's talking about the Israelites losing their identity, going into slavery. It say, and that man of sin be revealed. See, that man of sin, he gonna be revealed. And that's what's going on today. The prophet is on the corner telling these wicked Negroes, your slave master is your enemy, man. He's not your church member brother. Yeah, you dress up in a suit and you go sit beside him in a church. You think he your friend now. You leave out the church, you a homeless, broke, all kind of confused, mentally ill Negro, but all due to him, see, who run the government, who issue out the money, who issue out the jobs, who doing all the educating, see, who giving out money to all kind of people, but you still broke and you going crazy in your head. It say, and the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. That son of perdition is son of destruction. Who destroying all the animals? 99% of the animals is being destroyed. They're not being destroyed by Negroes in the projects. They're not being destroyed by Hispanics in South America. They're not being destroyed by Native Americans on a reservation. They're being destroyed by the so-called white man, his corporation. See, they go and let all kind of waste They let all kind of waste in the rivers, in the lakes, killing all the fish and the animals. They eat all the bottom feeders out the ocean, the shrimp, the crab, the lobster, snatching them out the water. Now the water dirty. Now the water don't got nothing to clean them. The catfish, see, the octopus, they grabbing all these cleaners of the ocean up and serving them in their restaurants, trying to make money off of them. When they unclean animals and God don't want you to mess with them. See, the pig, all these animals that's built to clean up the earth, they grabbing them and serving them on the dinner plate. Talking about come be a Christian, you can eat anything you want. See, the son of destruction. What else they destroying? They destroying the air. They up in there doing all kind of chemical experiments with these damn planes flying over the atmosphere. They call them chemtrails. What else are they destroying? They destroying families and relationships, giving this false love. See, this false love is really hate. Don't say nothing to nobody. Don't correct nobody. If they doing something, just don't correct them. Just leave them alone. See, don't say nothing to nobody and try to correct them. That's you hating on them. See, they don't turn correction, which is love, into hate. That's why your mama say, listen, I'm only whooping your behind because I love you. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't care for you. But what the so-called white man say, beating children is not right. You shouldn't beat the children and discipline them and give them a spanking. Just talk to them and put them in time out. See, that's the kind of crap. Everything the Lord tell you to do, He tell you not to do it. He say love your neighbor, love your peoples, and tell them when they doing wrong. No, let's get Tupac and tell them that only God can correct them. No, their neighbors can't correct them. If their neighbors come up and try to correct them, that's not right. See, this is what they promote.